Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. We must continue to set the record straight, stop the lies, stop the narratives, stop them from rewriting the history, man. Hold these guys to a standard. And in this video, we're going to talk about how Michael Jordan never used Scottie Pippen as an excuse. He never used Scottie Pippen as an excuse. And there were many, many instances where Michael Jordan could have used Scottie Pippen as an excuse to why he didn't win or why the team lost or whatever the case may be. He could have used Scottie Pippen as an excuse. He could have threw Scottie Pippen under the bus, but he never did that, Michael Jordan, because he was a true leader. We're going to talk about in this video, guys. And I want to thank you guys, man, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man, that's been supporting my channel. I'm truly humbled, guys, for real. It means a lot, guys. All the true basketball supporters, all the true basketball fans. Like I said, thank you for your comments, sharing your stories, the info with me. Thank you, guys. I'm truly humbled, man. Once again, I don't say this stuff just to say it. It means a lot. Like I said, and I'm never here for the money. It's never been about money. I don't solicit for money. It's all about the facts, guys. So thank you. And you guys know what to do. Excuse me. Hit that play button. Turn that volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, man. Like I said, excuse me for a second, guys. Yeah, so, yes, guys. Like I said, I wanted to talk briefly about, now listen, about Michael Jordan, how he never used Scottie Pippen for an excuse. Now, listen. I've done many videos on this channel about Scottie Pippen and the Michael Jordan dynamics, right? And we get all this, man. Anyone who grew up in the 80s and the 90s watching this stuff, you understand the whole Scottie Pippen thing. We get all of this now. You understand what we're doing. People think that we're tearing Scottie Pippen down. You'll have these idiots come in the comments like, yo, man, y'all gotta stop disrespecting Scottie Pippen, man. Scottie Pippen a great player. Scottie Pippen this. No one's ever scared Scottie Pippen wasn't a great player. We're putting his career in perspective. We're putting the context behind this. We're setting the record straight. Because Scottie Pippen has said a bunch of nonsensical things over the years, and a lot of the LeBron James fan club members have pumped up Scottie Pippen with lies and narratives. They weren't around for this. So that's all we're doing. But what I've noticed a lot as far as NBA basketball relates, and I guess in society we can say also, is everyone has an excuse for something. Everyone's excused. Everyone's the victim. Everyone is the victim, right? No one can ever just stand on their own too. Everyone's looking for an excuse for everything now. Everything. And in sports and in basketball, everyone always has all these fake fans. People be, oh, I'm a fan of this player. They're only a fan of the players. They're not a fan of the sport of basketball. So all they do is make excuses for their favorite player. That's all they do. Whatever happens, it's never their favorite player's fault. It's someone else's fault. And a lot of these guys, they come to the post-game press conference, they come to these interviews, and they make excuses. They blame XYZ. They bring up something to deflect. They deflect off of something else. That's all they do, a lot of these guys. They can never just take on the chin. This is why I don't respect a lot of these players. They're not true professionals. They're not true leaders, right? They want to blame everybody else, everything else, and they're the victim here. They did everything they could. It's not their fault. So I thought about that in relation to Michael Jordan. Because I never heard Michael Jordan ever use a crutch, an excuse, never played the victim. It was never woe is me from Michael Jordan. I don't ever remember hearing him talk like that. I never remember him throwing Scottie Pippen under the bus. Never. Not Horace Grant, not slow Bill Cartwright with that goofy shot. None of this stuff. Michael Jordan just continued to push these guys in practice to make them better, right? To keep them focused, to hold that standard because he wanted to win, right? And there were many times, as it pertains to Scottie Pippen, that Michael Jordan could have blamed him. He could have used as an excuse. He could have played the victim many times, guys. Now let's think about this for a second. Michael Jordan, right, coming into the NBA a couple of years before Scottie Pippen, right, going through the battles, right? People say, oh, Michael Jordan was 1-9 without Scottie Pippen. And then they make it seem as if when Scottie Pippen got to the Chicago Bulls, all of a sudden, things started to click because of Scottie Pippen. It was his addition to the team that was really all they were missing. But we all know in reality, that's not the case, right? When the Bulls finally broke through into the second round in 1988, Scottie Pippen's first season, Scottie Pippen was not a main contributor on that team. He was a role player. I don't believe Scottie Pippen started a single game in the regular season, but I believe when the postseason came around, they started Scottie Pippen. So if we think about that, right, and we think about the Bulls finally making it to the second round, once again, it wasn't because of Scottie Pippen. It was because of Michael Jordan. But once again, Michael Jordan having help now. They never mentioned Horace Grant, who was drafted to the Bulls the same year as Scottie Pippen, right? Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen. They don't want to bring Horace Grant, though, on the Scottie Pippen deal. So when we think about that aspect, we can immediately think about 1989, the very next season, because once again, 1988 wasn't due to Scottie Pippen, right? Could Michael Jordan blame Scottie Pippen in 88, the rookie Scottie Pippen? Could Michael Jordan turn around and be like, yeah, man, I'm playing with a bunch of rookies out here. I don't really got any help. Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen, they gotta come along, man. They gotta help me out here. No, he didn't say any of that stuff. He didn't make any excuses. He didn't play the victim and say that, oh, man, I'm going against the stacked Detroit Pistons. What do you want from me? Never played the victim, Michael Jordan. So we think about 1989, guys, right? And oftentimes people focus on the migraine game in 1990 for Scottie Pippen. But in 1989, right, Scottie Pippen missed the entire Game 6. The entire Game 6, guys, in the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Bulls make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Michael Jordan's having a spectacular postseason run, 40-point games all over the place. We know about the shot against the Cavaliers in round 1. Then they dismantled the New York Knicks, right? The number 2 seed New York Knicks in the second round. And then it was still a matchup with the number 1 seed Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. Except a lot of people don't realize in Game 6, with the Bulls down 3-2, Scottie Pippen took an elbow in the head from Bill Laimbeer, right? Bill Laimbeer, cheap shot Bill Laimbeer, elbow Scottie Pippen in the head, and Scottie Pippen misses the entire game. I believe he played 1 minute in that game. 1 minute, guys, in that game. He didn't play 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. He played 1 minute in that game. Took an elbow to the head from Bill Laimbeer, missed the whole game. The Bulls lose in 6 games. So, couldn't Michael Jordan easily turn around and say, well, Scottie Pippen didn't get elbowed in the head. Where was Scottie Pippen? He couldn't fight through it. He didn't blame Scottie Pippen. He didn't use Scottie Pippen as an excuse as to why they lost. All Michael Jordan did was stay on the court, shake hands after they lost, and basically say, we're not on their level yet. We got to get there. We got to go back to work. We got to keep hustling. We got to keep grinding out. Never threw Scottie Pippen under the bus. Never threw Horace Grant under the bus. He didn't blame Bill Cartwright and his slow feet and his no defense. He didn't blame anybody else. He didn't blame a Brad Sellers or any of these other guys. Michael Jordan didn't play the victim. Once again, he didn't say, woe is me. I'm going against the stacked Detroit Pistons, one of the greatest teams of all time, the 89 Pistons, who lost 2 games all postseason to the Chicago Bulls. So where was Scottie Pippen in Game 6? He was out for the whole game after taking an elbow. Soft Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan did not use an excuse. We think about the following season, the migraine game. The following season, guys, Eastern Conference Finals. Once again, Scottie Pippen plays, 40 minutes, scores 2 points. I believe he goes, 1 for 10 in the game? Does nothing for Michael Jordan. Literally nothing for Michael Jordan. And once again, they lose in 7 games. And they interview Michael Jordan after Game 7 on the court, still soaked in sweat. Does Michael Jordan bring it up? Does Michael Jordan say, hey, Scottie Pippen had a migraine and he really couldn't give us anything out there, man. If Scottie Pippen was able to go, then I think we could have won this game. No, he didn't use an excuse. He didn't blame Scottie Pippen. Once again, he did not play the victim. He did not say, hey, man, what do you guys want me to do, man? I averaged 37 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. I was doing my thing on defense. I just didn't get any help. Scottie Pippen was hurt. We needed Scottie Pippen out there. He never said these things. He could have easily done that. He could have easily been like, hey, man, Scottie Pippen wasn't 100% out there, and, we really needed him out there today. He didn't do that. He didn't blame Scottie Pippen or use that as an excuse as to why they lost. They lost. They weren't good enough to get it done. They failed. That was all Michael Jordan needed to hear. They got to go back to the drawing board. They got to come back stronger next season. So he kept Scottie Pippen's confidence. He didn't alienate Scottie Pippen by throwing him out there, right? Like I said, and blaming him. No, Michael Jordan was a true leader. And once again, he kept the confidence of his teammates. He earned the respect of his teammates by being that real leader, taking the blame and not always taking all the credit, giving them their just due, and not putting the blame on them. He could have easily blamed Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen in 1990. They didn't do anything. He could have easily blamed them. But he didn't do that. He could have used an excuse. He could have played the victim. Didn't do that, though. We think about 1991 NBA Finals, right? Game 3. I've talked about this many, many times on this channel. Michael Jordan could have used Scottie Pippen as an excuse. He could have blamed Scottie Pippen. Remember, Scottie Pippen fouled out at the end of that game. The Bulls were down by 2 points with about 9 seconds to go in the game. Michael Jordan didn't scream at Scottie Pippen on the bench. He didn't start doing the LeBron James and J.R. Smith on the bench. He didn't say, come on, Scottie, how you foul out now, man? We're down, man. We need this game. Remember, the series was tied 1 game apiece, guys. This is a pivotal game 3. Remember, in L.A., Michael Jordan didn't blame Scottie Pippen. He didn't use an excuse. What did he do instead? He decided to raise his level of play. He decided to raise up to the occasion. And what did he do? He inbounded the ball, drove the length of the court, hit a pull-up jumper over Vlade Divac to send the game to overtime, and then he led the Bulls to a victory and a 2-1 lead in that series, and the rest was history. He didn't use Scottie Pippen as an excuse. He didn't fold up, right? He didn't give up. He kept pushing, and he made that shot, and he finished the game in overtime. He didn't fold up and cry about Scottie Pippen fouling out, making a mistake, leaving him out there by himself. No, he galvanized his teammates, and he led them to the win. No excuses. He didn't play the victim. We think about 1995, when Michael Jordan came back at the end of the season. Where was Scottie Pippen against the Orlando Magic? I've done a video on this. That was Scottie Pippen's opportunity to be who everyone says he is now. That was his opportunity to lead Michael Jordan, to carry Michael Jordan to the NBA Finals. He couldn't do it, though. So they played against Orlando Magic, and once again, Scottie Pippen, he goes down. He goes downhill. As the competition rises up, Scottie Pippen goes down. Right? Scottie Pippen looked great against the Charlotte Hornets in the first round. He looked amazing. But then the second round against the Orlando Magic, where was Scottie Pippen? He wasn't there. He went downhill, man, once again. So he wasn't there to support Michael Jordan the way that he really should have. If he was that Scottie Pippen, he was that dude that everyone says he is now. If he was that guy, that was his opportunity to prove it. That would have been his opportunity for him to point back all these years later and say, look what I did for Michael Jordan 95, man. I helped Michael Jordan 95. I led us in 1995 to the finals. He didn't do it, though. Scottie Pippen wasn't there, and he got knocked out by the Orlando Magic, and Scottie Pippen, once again, did not raise his level of play. Right? Michael Jordan was coming back from playing baseball. He was still rusty. He wasn't Michael Jordan yet, right? He was a little off, you could tell. So where was Scottie Pippen to support him? Where was Scottie Pippen to say, hey, Mike, I got this, man. I got you. All the years you were leading me, I got this one. He wasn't there for Michael Jordan. And I'm not blaming Scottie Pippen. What I'm saying is these are the opportunities where Scottie Pippen could have raised up to the occasion, but he didn't. These are the opportunities where Michael Jordan could have blamed Scottie Pippen. He could have pointed at him. He could have used an excuse. And he could have played the victim, but he didn't do those things because he was a grown man and he was a true competitor. And then we think about, I'm going to think about 1998, right? The 1998 season, the last dance season. Let's think about that season. Let's think about the finals. Scottie Pippen's hobbled, right? He got a bad back. Remember that game? He had to go back in the locker room, come back out, go back in the locker room, come back out. He was in and out of the locker room getting treatment on his back. He was a decoy out there. Did Michael Jordan use that as an excuse? Did the Bulls fold up? Oh, we don't have Scottie Pippen. He's limping around. How are we going to win? No. Instead, Michael Jordan did what Michael Jordan always does. He raised his level of play. He rose to the occasion and scored more than half of the Bulls' points and closed the game out with the most spectacular 3-play sequence in NBA Finals history. No one has done a 3-play sequence like Michael Jordan to end a series where your team is down by 3 points with under a minute to go and no one touches the basketball for the rest of the game. Only Michael Jordan. They inbound to Michael Jordan. He gets a quick layup and got fouled but no call. Then steals the ball from Karl Malone with no foul. And then comes down the court and hits a game-winning shot. No one of the Chicago Bulls touched the basketball in the last minute. Not one other player besides Michael Jordan, guys, touched the ball. That's closing out a game. That's understanding that Scottie Pippen, my teammate, is hurt. He can't really help me. I got to close this out. We can't go to a game 7. That's the greatness of Michael Jordan shining through. Not using an excuse. Not blaming Scottie Pippen, not playing a victim, not having the woe is me attitude. Oh, how are we going to get over this? Scottie Pippen's not here. He's hobbled around. We're down by 3. There's under a minute to go. We're in Utah. We're on fumes. No excuses. Michael Jordan never used Scottie Pippen as an excuse. Never blamed Scottie Pippen. Like I said, he never used played the victim. None of this stuff. He continues to support Scottie Pippen, push Scottie Pippen in practice, and the reason why Scottie Pippen is remembered all these years later is because of that. If Michael Jordan, after the 1989 season or the 1990 migraine game, would have been like, I can't win with Scottie Pippen. I don't want to play with this guy anymore. We got to get rid of him. He's too soft. He's not ready. He's frail. He could have easily done this, but he did not do that. He saw something in Scottie Pippen, and he continued to stand by Scottie Pippen. He didn't request a trade for the Chicago Bulls. He didn't ask for Horace Grant to be traded. He continued to work with what he had. He didn't cry and moan to the general manager, the owner. He continued to get better. That's the grace of Michael Jordan, man. So as you guys can see, man, Michael Jordan could have blamed Scottie Pippen many times. He could have used Scottie Pippen as an excuse. Like I said, he could have played the victim. Oh, I'm going against the 89 Pistons. I'm going against the 86 Celtics. He didn't use it as an excuse. He continued to be a competitor, show up, and earn the respect of everyone around him. These are the facts, guys. You know that. You guys know the deal on this channel, man. We must continue to set the record straight, man. Michael Jordan never used excuses, never played the victim. He was a true competitor, man. And he played with that love of the game. And he supported Scottie Pippen all those years, even though there were many times where Scottie Pippen was not there for Michael Jordan, especially early on. He was not there. Everyone tries to act like Scottie Pippen was perfect. He never failed. He was the greatest, player ever in the 90s. This is why they're trying to pump him up now. Oh, Scottie Pippen, the greatest all-around player in the NBA in the 90s. No, he wasn't, man. Scottie Pippen had a lot of flaws to his game, man. He was an excellent player. But a lot of the things that he developed came from going against Michael Jordan every day in practice. You're battling against Michael Jordan every day in practice. But people try to act like that wasn't rubbing off on Scottie Pippen, that didn't impact who he became. Those are the facts, man. Scottie Pippen was never a leader. Michael Jordan was the true leader of that team. Scottie Pippen had no leadership. And it was Michael Jordan's leadership that allowed Scottie Pippen to be who he was. He didn't blame Scottie Pippen, right? He didn't take Scottie Pippen's confidence away. He kept the confidence in these guys because they could count on Michael Jordan to not blame them. And like I said, give them their credit where it was due. That's why we laugh when we hear Scottie Pippen say, hey, man, Michael Jordan never gave me no credit. I didn't get no credit. Stop it, man. You're delusional. I lived through it. Michael Jordan always gave you credit. Never blamed you when he could have many, many times. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.